The healer of Mirithar. The legacy of a second chance. Maxwell Reed was an ordinary man, living a life that was, for the most part, just like anyone else's. He was 27 years old, working as an accountant in a small office in the bustling city of Verdun. Day after day, it was the same routine. Numbers, spreadsheets, the hum of fluorescent lights overhead, and the quiet office chatter. He didn't mind. He had a simple life, a steady job, and he enjoyed his free time with a good book or a bit of quiet reflection. Maxwell had always been an introvert, content with the little things in life. But there was one thing he truly loved, and that was fantasy stories. He would often escape into worlds of magic, mythical creatures, and brave adventurers, imagining what it would be like to live in a world where the impossible was possible and where good could triumph over evil. But all that was about to change. One rainy Thursday evening, after a long day at work, Maxwell was heading home, the cold droplets of rain misting against his face. He had his head down, lost in his thoughts about the numbers from work. He never saw the car coming around the corner, its tires screeching as it struggled on the slick road. The next moment, the world went black. When Maxwell awoke, he found himself in a completely unfamiliar place. His heart raced as he took in his surroundings. He was no longer in the city. The harsh concrete and glass of Verdun were gone, replaced by lush green fields and towering trees. The sky above was painted with hues of orange and purple, and two moons hung above him, casting a soft glow across the land. A strange voice echoed in his mind, smooth and calm. "You are not of this world, Maxwell Reed. You have been granted a second chance." Maxwell blinked, confused. What? What do you mean second chance? Where am I? The voice continued, "You have passed from your world, but fate has given you a new life in this realm, a realm filled with magic, mythical beings, and untold wonders. Your purpose here is great, Maxwell. You have a power that this world desperately needs." Maxwell's mind raced as he tried to piece together what had happened. He looked down at himself, feeling different. There was a strange warmth inside him, a pulsing energy. He could feel the magic of the land, and it responded to him. With a deep breath, Maxwell tried to focus, unsure of what was happening, when suddenly a thought struck him. Without even thinking, his hands began to glow with a soft, golden light. He reached out instinctively, and a small wound that had cut his palm from a stray branch healed before his eyes. Maxwell stared at his hands, amazed. It wasn't just magic, it was healing. He had the ability to heal others, to mend wounds, cure diseases, and restore life. His power was a gift, a force of good. It didn't take long for Maxwell to realize that this world, named Mirithar, was one on the brink of destruction. The people of Mirithar were suffering, caught in endless wars between kingdoms, battling not just against one another but also dark creatures that ravaged the lands. The once thriving cities were now just remnants of their former selves, burned and destroyed by the greed and ambition of cruel rulers and dark sorcery. Maxwell knew he had to do something. The magic flowing through him wasn't just for self-gain. It was meant to be used for good, for healing, for restoring what had been broken. He began his journey, moving from village to village, using his newfound powers to help the people. He healed the sick, mended broken limbs, and even restored entire fields that had been poisoned by dark magic. People started calling him the healer, a miracle worker who could bring hope to even the most hopeless places. But Maxwell didn't want fame. He didn't want to be a hero in the traditional sense. He was just a man, someone who had been granted a second chance. All he wanted was to help, to make this broken world a little better, one life at a time. Soon, his reputation spread far and wide, reaching the ears of those who had the power to change the fate of Mirithar. Queen Alara of Galdreth, a kingdom fighting to unite the fractured lands, sent for him. Her lands, too, were torn by war and darkness. Her people were suffering, and she believed that with Maxwell's powers, they could stand a chance against the encroaching evil that sought to devour everything. Maxwell was hesitant. He never wanted to get involved in politics or war. But when he saw the desperation in the Queen's eyes, and when he saw the suffering of the people in her kingdom, he knew he couldn't turn his back. His power was too great to be ignored. He had the ability to heal not just bodies, but entire nations. He agreed to help her, and together, They began to rally the kingdoms of Mirithar for a common cause. Maxwell's healing abilities became a symbol of hope. With every person he saved, with every town he restored, more and more people began to believe that peace was possible. But as they traveled together, Maxwell learned that the darkness threatening Mirithar wasn't just a group of evil sorcerers. It was a force much older and more powerful, a malevolent entity from the very core of the world, seeking to tear everything apart and return Mirithar to chaos. Maxwell's role in this world became clearer with each passing day. He was more than just a healer. He was a protector, someone who could restore balance, fight against the darkness, and unite the people of this world under a banner of peace. His powers grew stronger as he learned to tap into the deeper, elemental forces of the world. He could heal, yes, but he could also protect and create, fortifying entire villages with barriers of light, purging the land of dark creatures, and even reviving entire forests that had been burned to the ground. The people of Mirithar, once lost and hopeless, began to rally behind him. Maxwell was no longer just the healer, he was their savior. And with his powers, he brought about a new era of peace, one where magic was used not for destruction, but for restoration. The world began to heal, slowly but surely. Maxwell's influence spread across the land. But his work was far from done. There was still so much to be done, so many people to save, and so many broken places to restore. And so, Maxwell continued to walk the land of Mirithar, a beacon of hope, a healer, and a protector. Because, for him, this second chance wasn't just a gift, it was a calling. A calling to heal the world, and to create a legacy of light and goodness that would live on long after he was gone. The people of Mirithar would never forget the healer, the man who was given a second chance at life, and who used it to save a world on the brink of collapse.